I'm Kayla Monroe. I'm the Farm and Agribusiness Extension Agent here in Southeast Alabama. Thanks to funding from the Southern Risk Management Education Center and the USDA National Institute of Food and Agriculture, we're excited to bring you our Faces of Direct-to-Consumer series, highlighting the diversity of operations and creative ideas in direct-to-consumer meat sales right here in Alabama. This series is for inspiration only and is not intended to promote or endorse any one operation over another. It is simply just a way to share different approaches and spark ideas for your own operation. My team is excited to take you all to Perdido River Farms today, located in Atmore, Alabama, to hear from John English, their farm director. We'd like to extend a special thank you to Mr. English and the Porch Creek Indian Tribe for allowing us to visit and take part in this experience.
John English, the Director of Natural Resource and Ag Division here at Perdido River Farms, cattle operation that's owned by the Porch Creek Indians. Operation here at Perdido River Farms is a cow-calf operation. Kind of was founded in 1992 here at the Porch Creek Indians Reservation. The cattle operation was kind of a way of the tribe here utilizing their pasture land through grazing cattle, raising cattle, getting back to our culture. After graduating in 2004 from Auburn University with an animal science degree, I come back here, hired on as the cattle production manager in 2011, and later promoted to the general manager. The long-term goals is just simple. We want to meet the demands of whatever challenges that come before us. We want to be in restaurants, we want to be in the casinos, but we also want to be a facility that can work in the local farmers, ranchers around here, that we can custom process their calves as well. Because we knew that was kind of what led us to where we're at. The demand, in the case of a pandemic or whatever it may be, for producers to have a local place that they can bring their own cattle, and we take care of them through processing theirs. Selling our beef directly to consumers, I guess, is kind of a dysfunctional path, if you will. We started out, we were having some calves and selling truckload lots that didn't typically make the cut for whatever reason. And we knew that those cattle were good cattle, so then we ventured off into other opportunities. Those other opportunities being finishing some cattle out and doing that. At the time, we were only doing 1 or 2, 3, and that grew into 10 to 20. We were taking the local processors all across the area. So we got to taking these cattle all over the area, and we kind of could see the demand. But fortunately here, I knew that I had the resources. I'm working for the tribe, and had to pitch the idea of possibly our own operation, our own processing facility. You got to learn that you can't take no for an answer. So I'd go back and forth, back and forth. Then I think it was in 2020 when COVID hit, leadership then, whenever they couldn't go to Walmart and buy hamburger meat, a steak, they come back to the cowboy and said, hey, you may be on to something. From that, we started running numbers, and we just recently opened our brand new facility, USDA federally inspected facility, Perdido River Meats. The grand opening was February the 6th. We started processing January the 8th. Like I said, with the marketing, pricing can be a little bit challenging because of your inputs. But once you get a consumer or customer to purchase from you, they're going to be back. The biggest challenge, or one of the challenges, is the fresh beef. It may not smell or look the way it does in the grocery store. And so that's their biggest thing. You got to get them past that to understand, hey, this is the way beef is supposed to smell, this is the way it's supposed to look. You've got to educate the customer. You've got to do your homework to sell your beef. Yeah, and starting out, we were just selling whole and half, and from that we actually had a lady that we had the calf at the processor. She called at the last minute. We were needing a cut sheet, and they had some family issues, and so we had to kind of pivot real quick. We were fortunate to be at a facility that could have that product USDA inspected, and we brought the beef back here. We sold it right out of these deep freezes. Um, Everything was weighed up right here, and it escalated in from there. At that point, we were selling about 2 calves a week out of here. It was kind of a hands-on deal with all the employees here. We come in, we take pre-orders, we would do whatever, we package it right here. We have a larger walk-in freezer in the back that we were able to hold orders, and business just boomed. And we're just thankful to have our new facility up. I guess the only thing, we're a little bit different. I don't know that we've changed anything as far as trying to get in that niche market. We have kind of looked at, and getting away from the ear, but kind of where our location here, we kind of need a little bit of that Brahman influence for heat resistance or heat tolerance, insecticide tolerance. So it's we just had to kind of shift gears to meet the market in our feeding program. That was the way we've had to adjust and to meet the challenges. One of the biggest shifts that we've made is now I'm looking at those weaning weights and those yearling weights, taking a different bull approach when I'm selecting, looking for those growthy traits that we can look at and wait on down the road whenever we take these cattle to have them harvested. Yeah, we're going to be heavy on the Angus English cattle with that Brahman influence. Yeah, on the feeding side of it, for the operation we have here, the way we're doing it, it's worked. We've made it work for years now. But as increasing the herds or increasing capacity, meeting the demand of our new facility, we also now see the need, the importance of being able to better, more efficiently feed cattle. Currently, right now, the cattle are just kind of turned out on pasture. We have feeders that we'll pull in. Guys here run feeders twice a week. We are not mixing any feeds. On our feeding program right now, we're just buying the calves that would come in here on receiving or weaning. They'll just go on a 50-50 soy oil corn gluten base feed. Then 120 days, 150 days, we'll shift them over to a more of a blended corn-based developer feed, where they'll stay on it for another 60 to 90 days as well. With the kind of this change in the structure that we're going for now, where we're taking that calf from the day it hits the ground, that we're taking all the way till we get ready to harvest to put on somebody's plate. We're looking at me getting a return, that was about 18 months now. Whereas we were normally looking at 8, 9, 10 months, we're putting those extra months on there of feed. With the weather, the heat, we know that there's better ways of doing it. So again, I go back to leadership, and with my thought, my ideas, they've been very receptive to things so far. We've made a couple trips touring some confined feeding areas, confined feeding barns. Those barns, what we're kind of in plans or in talks, hoping to have something kind of rolled out mid-2026, if everything goes well, where we'll have 2 barns where we put 1,000 head per barn, and then we feel like that we can really meet and maximize our feeding efficiency and production. So Perdido River Meats, it came from a long stem of problems, challenges, and opportunities. It went from feeding out a few calves to seeing that we can take care of a community. through a lot of hard work, a lot of persuasion, we were able to put together a state-of-the-art USDA federally inspected facility in Perdido River Meats, opened here February the 6th. And finding a producer or a processing facility, do your research, learn who you're working with. Everybody out there processing beef may not do things the way you want it done. We strive here at Perdido River Meats to take care of whatever it may be. Whatever cuts you want, that's what we're willing to do. Like I said, we're USDA federally inspected. We're going to do whatever it takes, from humane handling on the back side, the receiving side of it, proper tracking of your product, get your weights, your live weight, your hot carcass weight, then your retail box product weights. You'll have all that in your report. And that way you'll know or have a better sense of knowing that you've got all of your product back. So that was kind of the question that we always run into in different facilities that we work with. Are we getting all of our beef back? And also, you got to be able to educate someone as well. When they bring a calf in here weighing 1,200 pounds and they're expecting 1,200 pounds of product, hey, that's not the way it works. There's going to be some waste. It's also how do you get your product cut? How do you want it? If you're getting it all back in roast, if you want it back in ground beef, it's going to be it's the same, but it's different. So you just got to educate and make your customer aware and knowledgeable of what they're doing and how you're doing it for them. We're selling cuts or we're selling cattle beef, freezer beef, learning your market base, learning your consumer, your customer. Whole or half is a whole lot easier. Just that way you're done with it. It's a lot less labor intensive. When you get into the cuts, you got to be able to market. You got to know that you've got a value added product that we're talking about, because there's a lot of inputs. There's time, there's labor, there's feed. So we can't compete, or you're not competing with a grocery store. You're not competing with Walmart because you've got a better product. You've got product, you know it's local, it's fresh, you know where it come from, you know how it was handled. Beef is what's for dinner. Business, first you got to have a plan. You got to know what's your goal. Who are you trying to reach? What are you trying to do? And then all of the components that go into it, whether you're going to a cow-calf operation, a stocker-calf operation, you want to feed beef for freight, or feeding beef for freezer beef. Then knowing what audience you want to reach. Backing up, if you're on the cow-calf side, if you want to go just commercial, or if you're wanting to go to a registered herd. Then again, what's your customer base you're looking at? But just if you decide to go into the freezer beef, you got to think about where am I going to get my calves? Am I going to buy my calves? Where will I buy them? What am I going to feed them? Obviously, we need to think about transportation. We got to be able to haul these cattle once we get them ready. And then anything that we're going to need some way of confining that animal. So you will need a good catch pen. You'll need a good working facility. How we're going to feed them? Are we going to feed them in just old trough, or we're going your feeding program got to be thought about.